Welcome everyone to my live show. Thank you so much for joining me. B. Gwyneth, love having you here every week. Today's discussion is emotional seduction. I don't think I've discussed this with you before. I want to go over my interpretation of what this is and to clarify the difference between this type of seduction and what you might have in your mind. So, Nicoletta, I know you so well. Thank you for joining us today. Maria, Katrina, just so nice to see all of you. Mystic Magnification, lovely to have you here. Don't be afraid to ask me questions. I am going to cover both the positive usage for you to incorporate this in a healthy, life-affirming way into your dating and courtship to create that allure and attraction. And at the same time, I'm going to talk about its darker side when people are using emotional manipulation to capture you, con you, blind you, and use you. So this is all under the discussion of emotional manipulation and emotional seduction. Seduction is the attraction to. I want to get very clear about that. Seduction is not an outward pursuit. Seduction is much more of a pulling in energy. It's an allure. It's an engagement. It's attracting someone to you. And if you don't know how to utilize this and you're uncertain, I guarantee you're already doing it. You just don't know it. And we can learn steps. You can improve what you do, or you can guard yourself when somebody's trying to do it to you. So again, there are wonderful books written on seduction. Robert Greene, for those of you that read the initial book some 15, 20 years ago, it can sound very negative and corrupt. And he's such a cool guy. And he keeps going over this information now saying, I never meant it to be a tool to abuse. I only meant it for the people who really are very naive, like myself, who go out there and they have a boss that's, controlling them, or they have a partner. So let me give you my interpretation of this. Okay, so emotional seduction is a powerful tool to attract interest to us, to make ourselves wanted by another person. And this can be utilized whether it's romance, business, somebody seeking a job. Okay, I had one of the greatest emotional seductresses engage me, and I utilized her as an employee for a while. She was brilliant. And it's very comparable to being played by a player. Some of the hallmarks when it's a negative are that they want to do everything for you. They step into your life and make it so fantastic. It's so easy. Oh no, I'll take care of it. They make themselves indispensable. So rule number one, if somebody's helping you for free, it's not for free. There's a huge price tag on the back of it. But let me go into this first. So here are the types of emotional seduction by my interpretation. There's real, there's learned, and strategic. This is my breakdown of these categories. Real. Real is natural warmth. It is what I say when I ask you to apply appreciation to your relationship. So many times I've had a client that is having a struggle with their partner, and they don't want to reward them for a lack of good behavior. And I beg them to try one experiment. Just thank your partner. Let them know what you like. Let them know how much you appreciate them. Listen to them. And the whole scenario flips. So this is why my statement of long-standing relationships decline because of a lack of appreciation. So part of the real that is so warm and so engaging is its natural warmth. The smile is real. These are genuinely happy people. They're attentive, complimentary, interested, and present. Now, as I've just read those off, can you think of people in your life that when you walk into their sphere, you just feel fabulous because they light up when they see you. This is why we love puppies. This is why we love children. This is why we love the people who love us. It is magnetic. And for those of you who are out there dating and you're like, okay, I've got strong boundaries. I know how to take care of myself and I don't want to give them too much. If you're not having success, add a dash of this. Being present, listening to, being interested in a prospective partner is so powerful. We all want to feel important. We all want validation. We all want attention. Again, if you doubt me and you think, oh, I don't know, I don't want to give them that much, it looks weak, be conscious of how you're utilizing this very powerful resource. You're not doing it to gain their affection. You're doing it because it's genuine for you. So a genuine output of something costs you nothing. If you are doing it for a reason, now there's an agenda, and that's where it gets tricky because it's not read as being clean. People have extrasensory perception. They feel when it's not right. No matter how warm and nice, and you know this, there are people in your world, oh my God, I love this dress. Oh, you're so big and strong, you're whatever. Like I can say that, but I'm actually teasing, but I'm a nice person, so they think it's funny. But imagine somebody goes, oh my God, you're so talented, but you know they're just like, bitch, I can't stand the fact that you're ahead of me. I want that job. So we can tell the difference, right? If you want to employ any type of seduction, warmth will open anyone's heart. They will probably be suspicious. If they're a game player, they're going to figure you're playing a game too. That's why so many of you that are so nice, you write me back. And I think I did a video once on, I'm being myself. I'm very nice and warm and open, but they think I'm playing a game. Right? They don't trust me because they think I'm playing a game. It's like my media director, Lauren, met my friend Tiana from Toronto. Shout out to my Canadians. She said, okay, no, is that a game? I said, what do you mean? She said, she's so nice. There's no human being that nice. They don't make them that nice. What does she want? I'm so like, no, she's nice. She's nice. She's good. She's Canadian. I don't know what to say to you. So keep that in your mind. And I will now go over learned, okay? Learned is a cultivated smile. You're aware of the mask. It's intentional. It's practiced. And this form of learned emotional seduction can be either positive or negative. For example, it bumps up against strategic in some cases, but let's take the positive side. You are learning how to be warmer. And just like learning a dance step, maybe in the beginning, it's a little awkward for you. So you're moderating yourself. Sometimes you give too much, sometimes you give too little, and you will get better. So practice this on duty dates. I warn you, people respond to this. And that's why we have to be very clear. If we start to send this stuff out, do we want to have them grab onto us? Because they will. So this is why it's a power. Let me just jump off and read Tuesday here. I'm not a very warm person. I'm polite and respectful, but that's about it. One of my last first dates told me that I have resting bitch face. Okay, let's see. Canadians are raised to be genuinely kind and caring. I'm like a sister Canadian because I was raised in Minnesota. Susan, many times I find the other way around true. When dating men, you ignore them. That's when they get interested. Okay, that's another kind of guy. That's a guy who's not ready for a relationship. That's a guy who wants to win the game. Now you're a challenge. There's a marked difference between, you will tell the kind of person that you're looking for according to the bait that you put out. This is why I always tell guys that do pickup artists and do these games and stuff and the distancing dance, they're taught to create distance, and that distance is mystery, and that you are very warm, then you retract, and that you make them crazy. And honestly, everyone, life is hard enough. It's hard enough to know who you are, have the courage to be yourself, be honest, be strong, be resilient, and go out and date and open your heart. It's enough to add layers of game and con and move and do I do this? And if I do this, I do that. You're not even playing yourself. At that point, you're on the board. Try it. It's exhausting. Being in tune with yourself means you're clearly aware of when you've overgiven, and the person's not about that. Doesn't mean you're not worthy. It means they're not interested in you, in a relationship, in doing anything that requires effort. That's it. By the way, if any of you have a question, put it in super chat. Otherwise, I'll grab these as I can. It is bloody hot, 90 degrees. My AC is off. The lights are really warm here. Okay. Now, learned. Social director on a cruise. Anybody in hospitality? Servers. Hi, I'm Chet. How's your day today? It's learned. It is part of the business. And we prefer it to somebody being surly, but it's evident that it's not real. Real is powerful. Now, we'll go into strategic. Strategic, emotional seduction is a con. It's everybody that ever played you. Just repeat what you experienced. Oh my God, they thought I was amazing. The compliments kept coming. They couldn't stop checking in and texting me, and they said they'd never felt that way before. Oh my goodness, they were even a little intimidated because I was so beautiful, so handsome, so successful, so whatever. And then what happened? Con is very close to real. That's why it's powerful, and that's why it works. Con and games replicate real. And sometimes, honestly, you don't know till you're in the middle of it. People play short games, hit and run. People play a long game. It could be 6 months, 9 months later. You're like, oh my God, I didn't mean to fund their business. I didn't mean to give them that green card through marriage. I didn't mean to, turn over all my accounts to them. I didn't mean to. And there you are. Okay. So now the strategic is manipulative, false. It's a con artist. It's transactional. And here are the tells. Too much too soon. Too good to be true, and most important, it's all about you. I'm here for you. I just want to be near you, radiate in your glow. Oh my God, I'm your biggest follower. I'm your biggest fan. Oh my God, I've never felt this way before. You're so amazing. That's where the con starts, okay? Now, so, right? The player, okay? They go straight for the shine, for the light. And that is manipulation, okay? Attentive, interested listening. But taken to its positive, that's exactly what you want to do if you want to gain a person's affection. It's so powerful. Nobody pays attention anymore on dates. When was the last time any of you were on a date where they put their phone away? Or at least turned it over? Anyone? There's nothing more insulting than somebody asking you a question, and they don't even bother for the answer because they're already sort of bored. That was just a rote question they had to ask. Emotional seduction is, I think, the strongest current. Sex rides on a very common frequency. I fear that especially females tend to use sex as an overall catch. They will deep cleavage, short skirts and all that. You're just like throwing it at them. And I'm not trying to body shame or clothes shame or anything like that, but you have to understand that what you signal is what you're asking them to participate in. Be sexy. Wear the clothes you want. If you find that you are constantly attracting people that want to chat you up, they think you're great and dump you after they've had sex with you, you may want to consider, I can look as hot as I want. Was I relying on that alone? So for those of you that are very tempted to just look as Instagram girlish as you can, add warmth. You don't need to necessarily, I'm not telling you, I'm not the clothes police telling you to dress down or put collars up to here. That would be disempowering to women. But I am saying combined with warmth, because here's what happens, at least in America, and I know all of my foreign guys say this, that we have the weirdest sexual energy. We've got ourselves nearly naked going to the club, but then we're very cold. It's like, I'll show you all this, but then there's this strict boundary. I'm going to play games with you and I'm going to repel you. And European women, especially Mediterranean women, are very sexy naturally, not as over the top, and they're also warm. And that's it. The warmth or intelligence. Don't be a one card in the deck. Don't. You'll be limited and people will discard you. Let me jump to what you want to say here. Naftusa. Hi, my darling. $5. Thank you so much. Was a player back in the day. Charmed my way. Ooh, now we're getting the backstory. Charmed my way into relationships. Now tired of it. And focus on compatibility on dates. And none seem to like the real me. You're still in progress, baby. That's a huge turn. The group of people that come from that perspective and shift over, much smaller group. Most of the people that are doing this kind of work are too open, too vulnerable, too loving, too gullible, and trying to assert their boundaries and learn what the red flags are and things like that. So it's hard for somebody coming from that position to not be suspicious of everybody else's game, because you know every game because you either did it or you saw it or you know it. You just learned it. And this is where all of dating takes a calculated leap of faith. You have to be vulnerable enough to be present, to be open, and to be willing. That's what gets you in the gate. People will not chase and chase and chase somebody who's closed down. And when they do and can't get them, they begin to hate them. They want them, but they no longer are attracted. Now they're obsessed. And it becomes a very different game. So good on you. Glad you're here. Happy to see you here. It's a challenge, because warmth is the very best aspect of this emotional seduction. So what we do is we utilize the best parts of it. The positive affirmations. When we're with somebody, we notice the good things. And instead of just thinking about it, we have the courage to say it. And I know there is a philosophy out there that, if I say it, I'm giving them my power. You're not. You're being empowered. If you really know how the game goes, you're actually the one gaining power, because you're gaining power over them, over how they perceive you. So emotional seduction is very much a current of energy that makes us like the people we like, makes us attracted to the people we're attracted to. Now, there are many individuals who are attracted to the one they can't have. That's another psychological construct that is trying to change history in the present world. Someplace in the family of origin, it's like if I could just get mommy or daddy to love me, if I could just conquer this one that can't see me and make myself valuable and make them love me, then I'll know that I was loved or that I could be loved, or it'll erase my past. So we can't get caught into that game. All right. This is where validation, the validation of who they are. If you see something positive, and this is why, let me talk about pickup artists for a minute, and then I'm going to just switch to all of your questions here. Surprisingly, I'm not against much of what the pickup artist community was teaching. I'm vehemently opposed to a few individuals and groups that were utilizing it as psychological manipulation to hump and dump and hurt women and control them. Again, power, like money, can be good or bad. It depends on how you want to use it. But just because it has a negative connotation and you've seen the negative side doesn't mean that you can't open your eyes to the positive side. So whenever a game works, go back and look at it and say, damn, they really got me. What was it that got me? Oh, they were so warm. They were so loving. And instead of just stopping the story there, start to think, could I spin that in a positive direction? It really worked on me, and I'm a tough case. What aspect would be healthy, empowering, real, true, that I could utilize and gain the same advantage of breaking into this heart? Because it's kind of like you stand at the door of a locked heart and you tap like this, and if you have no weapons, the door opens. Right? You have a weapon, you have a hard face, the door's not going to open. Now, let me jump to this. I see this. $20. Thank you. Mario. Hi, Mario. It's so nice to have you back. The dating and human world is so much better with your being. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love this. Thank you. Your advices are pure, unbiased, and non-judgmental. You don't know how much you helped me and many others. Oh my God, now I'm getting goosebumps. Thank you so much. Thank you, Susan Winter, my favorite relationship guru. Whee! I love this. I love this, Mario. Thank you so much. I don't hate everything. I see the total picture, which makes it very hard. I do have some innate prejudices. I have a very strong dislike of abuse of power in general, over animals, over people, over systems, over somebody else's mind. We have the ability to take all these things that we don't like and flip them on their positive. And I don't like to see people be cruel. That's just my thing. I like people to be civil, polite, if they can. All right. So thank you so much for that. And then I see this. Denise, 1999. Denise, thank you. I don't know that I've seen you here before. Thank you. Thank you. I love this. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Vulnerability is seductive. And I don't mean weak, gaping, oh my God, I was abused as a child. My grandfather molested me. That's not sexy. That's not enticing. Vulnerability, let's look at the negative. Vulnerability that, oh, you need to save me, is a huge seduction. In the straight world, well, I suppose the gay world too, but in like the damsel in distress, oh, I can be your hero. Oh, that's a huge seduction. Okay? Everybody, humans basically like to be good. They become evil because they feel abused by being good. But humans get a good feeling out of being good. And so we oftentimes see people playing with somebody. Like, oh, I need your help. Or, oh, I need you, if I just had this. Oh, if I just had that dress. Oh, if I just had that car. If I just had that job. Oh, and there are always people willing to fulfill that request. And it's unfortunate. But let us look at vulnerability a little bit differently. While we see the con, and we see the very unfortunate Mark at the other end of this, who is not being loved, idealized, and not appreciated. They're just a means to an end. On the other side, to be appreciative and vulnerable means that we're willing to explore what it is about this person and our being with them. And that's what's beautiful. Openness is very attractive. It's very seductive, especially as our world becomes more closed off. Remember, if everybody's doing one thing, you're going to be noticed by doing just the opposite. And in today's world, when everybody's got their guard up and they're like watching out for themselves and their boundaries are rigid, and I don't do this and I don't do that, it's pretty powerful to be in command of all of your boundaries and choose to be warm, choose to be open. And choosing to be vulnerable means, yes, you do have the power to hurt me, but I am going to be fine. I can withstand that because I know myself. It's part of the game. I go in, I jump off the high dive. Don't know what I'm going to get. Make a calculated jump, or I jump because I feel like it. Resilience. You didn't give them your power. You didn't. We don't give people our power. We give the power to ourselves to make a decision. And then, if you want to love yourself, you applaud yourself, even if you fell flat on your face. Damn it, I tried. Okay, I'm not sitting at home bitching about men are horrible or there's no good women out there. I gave it an honest shot and I learned. So isn't that cool? Good on me. Okay, now there's a lot of commentary. I want to make sure that I get to everybody. What else is going on here? Denise Jones. Okay, I don't want to miss anybody and I don't want to push any wrong buttons here. Okay, let me get to everybody. I hope I can do this. Denise Jones, thank you so much. Hi, Patricia. Mario, again, thank you so much. I'm going to go slowly. Jillian, the right man will love the real you. It's so right. And it's so true when you're single. It's so beneficial to date a lot of people at once. Takes the pressure off any one person. Richard, $20. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. I love seeing my men here. I want this to be, we have to thank Bea and Gwyneth. I don't think I could ever really do this without having them here because they protect all of us so that we're in a safe space. Richard, so nice to see you here. Thank you very much for your contribution. Do you have a super chat? Yes, if you've made a contribution, please, if you have a question, wonderful, Gwyneth and Bea will help me. Hi, Joel. So do you understand what I'm saying here? Okay. Let me talk about this. I want you to understand that the power lies within you to choose who you are going to be when you go out into the dating world. Scared is not good. If you think they're going to hurt you, then maybe, if you're not strong enough to date right now or you're coming off the back of something else, take a break, get yourself together. But I urge you to just ask yourself an honest question right now. When I go out on a date and I meet people, granted, it is the needle in the haystack if it's come from online, am I at least present? Am I trying to listen and honor them enough with my time? Am I putting a little bit of effort into it? And am I at least making them feel like we had some kind of meeting of the minds? There may be somebody that's incredibly boring and it's just work. And then you excuse yourself early and you thank them and you tell them, I don't think this is a match for me, but it was very nice meeting you. Thank you for the coffee. Thank you for your time. This emotional seduction is incredibly powerful. And I want you all to be attuned to when it's being done to you. Don't shy away from it. If you're being conned right now, if you're in the middle of somebody's game and you know it, if you're caught and obsessed by somebody that's breadcrumbing you, coming back in, planting the hot and cold and going back out, As long as you're in the middle of it, dissect it, do your analysis. Damn, what did they just do? Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. The more you understand the game, the more you will have your innate protection. And the more you can also look at that and reverse engineer it to, they did something really cool. Nobody ever complimented me on that before. And I don't think anybody ever took the time to hear me talk about that and realize how important that was to me. Wow, what if I utilized that skill? Yes, there we go. Now, Thuza, I try to go on dates with an open mind to see it as an opportunity to learn from the person and or my dating selection process. That is beautiful. That's exactly what we want. I'm screenshotting some of your responses as a positive reminder. Thank you for all your positivity. That's E.T. I know Jillian is fabulous here. How to be a better communicator. That's a longer story, but listen to what people are saying and piggyback off that. Well, that's conversational skills. How to be a better communicator. Oh, where do we start? That's so general. What do you want to say? What do you want to tell people about yourself? What are you interested in talking about? So on a date, we try and find each other. In a relationship, we keep trying to find each other as we grow and separate and come back and grow and separate and come back. I wanted to talk briefly about pickup artists, and I know the world of women hated them. And here's how I see what happened to us in the last 20 years. I see a direct correlation between the pickup artist techniques of psychological seduction and the hookups that happened and the whiplash and backside of the hookup culture as being the norm. To be clear, many of the young men who paid a fortune for the boot camps and for the training were guys that really wanted to date and wanted a female and were so socially awkward. It was no different than learning to take a dance class because you're required to go to something and you don't want to look like a fool. Was it methodical? Yes. Was it, cumbersome for them? Yes. Was it strategic? Yes. They had to learn what to say. And again, the pickup artists, the psychological, the negs and all that, that's the dark side of it. That's the game playing. But many of these guys, and one of the founders of the original group was somebody that I knew. And their lives, most of these guys have transitioned out of that, got the female they loved, have children, and are in lifestyle podcasts or programs now because you grow out of it. But it's interesting to see how effective it was to train people to begin to communicate, to have a set of conversational skills. I didn't hate it. I hated the misuse of it. Again, abuse of power. When you learn these things, you are a powerful force. And at all times in our lives, especially spiritual awareness, we have a duty to utilize these principles in the highest way possible. If you've ever been hurt, abused, played, conned, lied to, betrayed, you don't want to do that to somebody else. You want to recognize it and ward it off, but you also need to utilize some of these general things and do the right thing with them. Yeah. So much of the game is just being real. A person who's really interested in you will light up. They'll ask you questions. And they're open and they're warm and they're charming. Why do you think all the Latin lovers are Latin lovers? Because they're so easy and relaxed and they're open and they're warm and they're casual. It's just their confidence. And it's a flow. Emotional seduction is a flow of warm energy. It is so powerful. It is so magnetic. If you have not tried it, user beware. It's very powerful. Use it for the right reasons. If you're afraid, turn up the dial to 1. You don't have to start at 10. And just look at how magical it is. There's nothing worse than being in a club or a bar and a bunch of stiff, uncomfortable people waiting around for somebody to talk to them because they're so nervous to be there, so they're pretending that they're talking to somebody on their phone and they're really not. You know, those guys that walk around the club like, and they're by themselves because they're too embarrassed to be alone. It's hard to start a conversation with somebody you don't know. And what's great about the warmth, people start to come to you. They see that you're warm. They see that you're open. They see that you don't have an agenda. Having an agenda, when we sniff that out already, we've got our hackles up. So let me read what you're saying here. I want to make sure I get to everybody. Jillian, we love you so much. Jillian is happily partnered and yet bothers to come back every week and contribute her unbelievable wisdom. She writes, vulnerability is strength. Put yourself out there and communicate what you want while maintaining your boundaries and walking away when necessary. Absolutely. That authenticity is attractive to the right people. That is so, so true. So let's get back to the people that don't like you when you're warm and open. They don't want relationships, or they don't want you. Either way, don't belabor analyzing it. It's a no. People who have the ability to connect and want to respond back to you, when you shine the light on them, it's just people come alive. You know, I make myself go out at night. I don't date per se, but I go, as a non-drinker, it is quite a challenge to go out. Alcohol is fabulous. Everybody's relaxed. Nobody gives a shit. They can talk to people. Their guard is down. It's a lot of work when you don't have that. And I dress up and walk over to the core club and make sure that I see my friends. And I try to chat with people I don't know. Now, almost everybody there is married. It's not about that. But I start conversations to see where I can go with people and just to learn about them and to hear about their life. Most time they end up wanting to know about mine, which I think is so amazing because it's like these are venture capitalists and huge industrialists, people that run all of New York and the world. It's like, but everybody wants to talk about relationships. Everybody's got one. Everybody's been hurt by one. Everybody's got a story about one. But I do that I give myself just enough comfort, and then I add the discomfort. So I try to expand. I've become very, how do I say, private as I've gotten older, and very discerning about my friends. And I just love my privacy. And I love being with myself. And my favorite little creature is Mika. But if I have good, warm, wonderful people, it is a joy. You'll know when you're in the wrong company because your being warm and open will feel like work. Then you will be going to what I call the learned. You'll be going, yes, it's so interesting. You know, like those business things you have to go to. Oh, that's, and just like, oh God, I wish I could go back to my room and turn on Netflix. Oh my God, how many more hours do I have to stand in these heels? Yeah? So Jillian is right on the money. Okay. Thank you so much. You are so fabulous. Oh, let's see. Denise. Okay. Richard. Everyone, let's see. Jillian. Thank you. I think I'm also ready for the real one, Nafthusa. I have a lot to give to the right partner and miss building and growing with another person. Nafthusa, we have watched you grow over the years here. You are the #1 barometer on cons and games, and it's really beautiful to see this. I think I missed somebody else. Did I miss anybody else? I think it's just as challenging when you come across a real nice guy. I'm struggling here. Why? Because they could be real. Do you know how much guessing I have to do when I see a sentence like this? And it's not your fault because you can't write that much. I have to guess everything in your life and that sentence. So let me try and let me take a stab at it, okay? Real is challenging because it requires you to be real too. And then the question is, and this might be tripping you up, Denise, just because you're real and you go there and you explore it, you're not required to stay. You're not. You can look, shop, look around, feel them out, see how it feels, and say, this is so lovely, but it's really not for me. And I think that's our fear about investigating the real. Like, oh my God, if they're real and I'm real, is this it? Is that my decision? Do I have to stay? You never, ever, ever have to stay with anybody. Staying should be a choice. Every day, every moment, which makes it powerful in the fact that you come back day after day. I'm very honest with all of you, okay? I never wanted to be married. I didn't. It isn't that I didn't want love. I never wanted to be forced to stay and beg to gain my freedom. I thought, for me, because I didn't plan on having children, that the better choice would be, that the stronger love would be, I choose to be here every single day. Now, I am not discrediting anybody that wants that. I am simply telling you that that was my perspective. I don't need to want what you want. I need to help you get what you want. But we are each built differently. And I think sometimes the things that trip people up is they say, oh, you're a commitment phobic. No, I'm claustrophobic. It's different. So if you have the freedom within a relationship to agree to date, see how it goes, tell this person this is new for me. There are lots of challenges here that I haven't faced before, but I want to try. Would you be willing to give this a shot for, let's just take it one step at a time, one date at a time, and see how this works out? That could be the greatest challenge. It is challenging. You know, we think that we don't, like this churn we have in dating. Oftentimes we think that that's the agony, that's the reason. Sometimes it's more challenging to date somebody who could be the one for you. And I don't mean that there's one, but that there could be a prospective partner. That requires all of us to show up, doesn't it? That means they're going to see right through you. That means you're going to be completely vulnerable. That's a whole nother game. Yeah? That's the challenge of allowing yourself to be loved. And that's something else. Now, it's all about you. I'm here for you. We've got about 15 minutes left. What questions? I think it's amazing you bring the real you on dates now. She's talking to Nathusa. It's the ultimate filter. You're filtering out the wrong men. Let's see. Clarity. Like, this is invaluable. Thank you, Alex. Let's see. Thank you. It's definitely a hit on my ego time and time again, but learning to take the punches more gracefully now. Let's see what else. I've been single for most of my life. I'm 37 now. I'd love to meet someone. Well, great. That's a great intention. There are times when getting played, honeymoon phase junkies, is what is needed as a form of escapism. Now, this is interesting. Usually these are very short-term romances. I don't meet a lot of these anymore. The cons are expensive. Most cons are expensive. Honeymoon phase junkies. I think what you mean by that is there are people addicted to the hormonal rush of the first flourish of, of infatuation. That's when all the hormones are let loose. Then after that honeymoon, things get real. They're like, oh no, I don't do this section. I do the ride up. I don't do the business of maintaining. So that's why we're getting this spike. Those are people of little effort. They want to take the drug. They don't want to take the aftermath. you know, that's tiresome. And well, it is what it is. So oftentimes we will have to check people to see what is their willingness to be in a committed relationship. Um, these are questions you may want to say in the very beginning or on your profile, or when you meet somebody, say, just out of curiosity, you know, are you of the mindset to be in a relationship? If you get one, do you believe in monogamy? What are your thoughts about that? Are you here to have a good time? Just checking, because you want to make sure you're going in the same direction. Okay. Maybe we should all learn to be players, pickup artists, so we can easily recognize it and deal with it appropriately. The fact that you're writing that means that you are so not that person. But when it's done to you, rather than, screaming and crying and all that, really take a look at it and say, damn, that was pretty good. Okay, so how did they do this? When you dissect how they got to you, you're going to learn a lot. And you also disempower them. By doing that kind of forensic research, you just untangled their whole game, and you won't miss it again. You don't have to be a player to learn how to do that. You just have to learn the marks. I'm not a player, but I've learned, because it was done. Well, I dated players for 6 years to learn the game. Yep. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have to say here? Video isn't coming through clearly, and I really wanted to understand what you were saying about the perspective one and how they will see right through you. Maybe you have to listen to the replay. It's good for me. I hope you all are seeing it. I've got all my signals here. I hope it's good for all of you. I don't know how to answer that. Yafa, hi. Recommended responses for how is it you've never been married? It comes across as very insulting, and I find it hard not to get very annoyed. Okay, so Yafa, thank you so much for your $10. So you don't have to say it to us, but what is the real reason? Just say it to yourself. I never met the right person. So here's the thing. If you're a female, it's assumed nobody wanted you. I hate that. Oh, nobody wanted her. Maybe you didn't find the right partner. I know people love marriage, and that's great for people that want to be married, and I have an enormous respect for it. But I want to say that it makes me really pissed off that is the only damn marker for success. What about people that have lived together for 20 years? What about people that have been in loving, committed relationships for 2 years? That ends, oh, that was nothing. You weren't married. Oh, you don't know. You weren't. That's horrible. Move to the Nordic countries. They don't even do that stuff anymore. If you want to do it, I had a huge windfall as a very young woman. It gave me the ability to have a basis financially, completely unexpected, a very minor investment in a great idea. I was a quarter owner of a gas company. We were the ones that had the idea to look at all these convenience stations. Maybe we could put gas pumps in them. Well, you know what happened there. At any rate, that gave me a cushion so early in my life. When I'm working for $7.40 an hour, this little investment went berserk. I cannot tell you the number I had to write to New York State for taxes. I'd never written a number that big in my life. So there are reasons that I was very cautious about marriage. One, it is a legal contract. Your partner goes broke, guess who's going to pay? But what they'd say to you is, here are some comments you could say. One thing they always say, you're so pretty. Why are you not married? I had a cab driver offer to make me a second wife. Not to worry, he's got a nice house in Queens, and I could be second wife. I'm like, he said, you're so pretty. Why are you not married? And I said, he said, well, I'll make you my second wife. I said, I'm good, thanks, I'm good. It was sweet, and it was also kind of, but at the same time, if you haven't found the right person or it didn't feel right, you don't do it. We don't do something just to never do something to conform to society's standards. Any of you seen my merch shop? Okay, there's one slogan I have, and I agree that it's not the best layout, but it's we are servants only to our dreams, not to society's expectations. And I wrote that years ago, like 20 years ago. We are servants only to our dreams, not to society's expectations. If society expects that you needed to be married because you're pretty and you're attractive and you're interesting, and why aren't you? Therefore, what they're saying is, what's wrong with you? The minute a person says that, they're not in your headspace. Know that. What about, but you're so attractive. Why does nobody want you? I can't believe you're single. It's like, sometimes people never consider that you're not meeting your match and you didn't want to settle. There are thousands of different ways to say it. You are welcome, my dear. You are welcome. It's just, it is very insulting. That can be a challenging one. When I was single, okay, Jillian says, I always smiled and said, I'm feeling so excited to meet the right man. Oh, great. That's very good. I like that. That's very good. I usually state that I see that commitment as something very serious and ensure that I'm selective with my life partner. It is a very serious commitment. We do not want to take that lightly. Do you know how many people have told me I was walking down the aisle? I knew it was wrong, but everybody was getting married. He was from a famous family. I just had to do it. I knew my parents wanted it. Everybody wanted it for me, and they were miserable. It's not for everybody. Partnership done well can be done a la carte. I got a whole thing on that. Figure out what you want to feel. Ask yourself, what do I want to experience? Get those qualities and factors down first. Then when you meet the person that matches it, the two of you together decide what format that's going to take. Let's get married. Fantastic. I'm good for it. Let's live together. Okay. But this is your choice. Okay? This is where you create the experience you want. And it's very important because I feel that the root of so many divorces in the 20th century was that people weren't honest. They were playing a role with each other. They did what they were supposed to do. This is not against the institution. It's against what happened inside the structure. There is a structural flaw in many of these institutions. It is not the people. The people can do partnership. The difference, they've got to do their own authentic system within the partnership realm. That's the difference. If people could have been honest, and how many relationships could have not had their kids taken through the divorce procedure if somebody had been honest in the very beginning, because they didn't dare say it back then, said, never really been monogamous. I don't even think it's for me. But let's get married anyway. I'll just be discreet and hide it, and you'll pretend you don't see it. And then after 7 or 10 years, you'll get so pissed off, we'll just divorce each other. And our kids will be all upset. We'll divide all the assets, and one of us will hate the other one. That's good, right? No, it's not good. Now we have a chance to experience what we want to in a relationship from our true, authentic self, our highest intentions, and our best choices. And the communication that was asked about before is how you explain this. You explain it to your partner. Not everybody is of the same mindset. But if you find somebody with an open mindset who finds you fantastic and you're not quite sure what to do with it, go to the drawing board. You've got a blank canvas. We like each other. What do you think we should do here? Let's try. And you create a product. You create a relationship. And it's bending and tweaking and designing it. We don't like that. Ooh, we do like this. This is how they will last. And if that's in marriage, awesome. But it should be configured this way instead of the other way around. We don't drop a container on somebody and say, these are the rules, and expect they're going to be good at it. If you create the system of authenticity and mutual goals, and then from that position say, what is the ultimate format we want to go to? Great. However, those of you who absolutely know you want marriage, don't be afraid to say it in the beginning. Because if you know you need that, you know you want it, put all the ingredients on the inside, but find somebody that wants that too. You can construct it both ways. Just be clear about what you want to experience within this. There can be marriages that are quite modern, living apart together, lat marriages. I mean, some people don't want to live in the same house, but they want to be married, and they're not fooling around. It's just, now's a time when you see people doing startups, you can do a relationship startup. If what you see on the game board doesn't work for you and it's making you hesitate, this is where you go back to the drawing board, okay? Enough of that, okay? I'm sorry. The word relationship is too vague. I found that people agreed they want a relationship, but we didn't mean the same thing. I'm so glad you're saying this. Now I try to define relationship on those first dates in detail. Richard, I do the very same thing. What do you mean by that? It's so important. What do you mean by that? Because everybody's orientation is different. I love that. So many men want to marry successful women for the right reason. Two threatenings. Let's see. Not many men, I'm sorry, want to marry successful women for the right reasons. Too threatened. That's unfortunate. If people look to be equal partners, each one has different strengths. I hear this oftentimes from very powerful, wealthy women. They're in the same position as men. How do you know who wants you for yourself? Anyone nowadays who's successful, anyone who has citizenship someplace that somebody else wants, anybody that's got anything, resources, a home, a country home, a pool, fancy friends, a lifestyle. How do we know that people want us for ourselves? We need to get good on that barometer. And there'll be times that we are fooled, and there'll be times that people start off honestly and then just tread water and stop putting in the effort. Okay, we are almost at the end. Let's see. Yes, Susan is amazing. I have to say that I fell asleep at night listening to her. To me, she's so soothing. I love this. I love this. Just wanted to say thank you that you look pretty today. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. What else? Anyone? Okay, before I get off here, I want to make sure I've acknowledged everyone that did a super chat. Richard, you're a member. Thank you. Let's see. Should I tell you about my products? I love my merch line, and we are putting in new designs. And the reason I love it is I want you all, whether it's a cup, a mug, a water bottle, a bandana for your dog, if there's a phrase that resonates for you or it brings up something that we've discussed and it's a quick lock-in of like, oh, I got to remember this, do it. I get such a kick out of doing these. First one I did, it's not me, it's you. That's for all of you that know how to be in a relationship and yet keep stumbling on people that are so not where you are relationship-wise. And you keep saying, what did I do wrong? No, it's not you. It's not you, okay? Just back to the drawing board. Then I did keep the dream, replace the person. The dream that we create, the image of the relationship that we want. And all of you, if you haven't done it, get an outline for yourself. How you want to feel Okay, so many people do the manifestation of the cars and the home. You can get that. Doesn't mean you'll get the feeling. Go for the feeling and put that in, and the rest will come. Just stick a car and a home in there if you want, but get the feeling, okay? Know what you want to create. Know what you want to feel inside a relationship. What do you want to do? Are you in a co-creative partnership? Are you working with somebody to be purposeful with you, to move the world forward? Do you just want to come home and chill? Do you want somebody that just listens to you? I don't know. Do you want somebody to go hiking with? What's the thing you want? And then we are servants only to our dreams, not to society's expectations. And Lauren has one that she wants to do badly called Consider This. What if it's all perfect? That's a little bit more metaphysical. That one we're going to be designing soon. And that is more like, have you ever heard those, it was a good thing, it was a bad thing stories? It's kind of like Buddhist, like somebody goes off to war, but then they can't go to war, and so then they don't die, and oh, that's a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's good. So life has both sides, dark and light. And every situation that's presented to us, no matter how horrific, at the other end, there is its opposite. Alchemy is extremely important when you're going through horrific experiences and challenges. And those challenges, I believe, carve our soul purpose. I've written this in many quotes. Challenges carve our soul purpose. And when something happens and we consider it horrible, what if it's perfect? But we just have to change the position of the camera to see it from a different angle. And then what I'm doing just for fun, you're so big and strong. I just love that one. It's just for me. I think it's cute. And it's funny. So those of you who bought Older Women, Younger Men, thank you. I have 26 new videos being added to that. All of you, whether you bought the Dating Games Guide, Older Women, Younger Men, know that they're not static products. When you get those, the Retrieve is the app. Download the app for free, put it on your phone. It'll bring up your library, and all you do is speak or type in the word. It'll go right to the AI will find the exact point in the conversation, whether it's written material, it's an audio tape, or it's video, right? So I did this for the Dating Games Guide, not knowing all of you that bought it, that I could have updated it. It's a huge update for me, so I will be working on that. So when you buy these guides, they're like $49, y'all. The reason I did this is to make your life easier. It's really hard. Do you know how many video requests I get? And I've already shot the video. Then I have to dig through, respond back. I did that video. This way, if you're interested in a certain category, dating games, tricks, traps, hot and cold, psychological stuff that's going on, it's at your fingertips immediately, all of my material. It's really hard to rifle through YouTube and find it. So that's why I did it. Older women, younger men, very different mentality. Lots of stuff going on. Somebody has to have lived it to give you the right advice. So that's in there too. That's a massive update that's coming. So if you're looking at your library and you opened up a section and went, that's a little thin. I saw it too. Okay, so we have evened all that out. So go back. It takes a while. I submit this stuff. 2 weeks later, it finally is up and running. Consultations, those are ongoing. Singapore, 2024. I am available for 1-hour sessions, and I will have a meet and greet between January 25th and February 2nd. I will be making announcements about that. Additionally, I will be in Miami in December, and I will be having a handful of very discreet one-on-one in-person meetings. I do the 1-hour session, okay? And that is, what's the date? December 5th through 10th. Again, you'll see that. So for those of you on the newsletter coming back, you'll get all the announcements here. If there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know. You can write me, susanwinter.net, put in the video requests, let me know what you like, let me know what you want to hear. Is there anybody I missed? Susan is amazing. I love all of you people. Susan, your hair looks incredible today. I tried to curl it for all of you. I've been growing out my mullet for 3 years. 3 years I had a mullet. I had no hair in the front. Everything was chopped up. Linda Brown, so happy to see you here. Outstanding video. Thank you, Miss Susan. Linda Brown, we do dearly love you. Okay, I went a little overtime. I want to talk about seduction, warmth, presence, attention, being interested. You don't have to worry about being sexy or being like having a certain clothing or a certain look. That is so powerful. Being present, being real, pulls them to you. Warmth, genuine, genuine, genuine. Nothing beats real. Nothing, nothing, nothing beats the power of being real. High intentions, good vibes, real. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Gwyneth B., thank you. Nathusa, thank you. Jillian, everybody, the people that came here today. Robert, Crystal, Sozo. Brian Pablo, hi, hon. How are you doing? Love to see you. Okay, thank you so much. And again, Brian Pablo, Dating Games Guide, I think you bought that too. That's going to be updated. Give me some time on that. So happy to have all of you here. Tom, so nice to see you here. Thank you. Love my men, love my females, love everybody here. Thank you, everyone. I will see you next week. Take care. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.